Hello and welcome. My name is Sean Friesen. I'm the franchise partner with Expedia Cruises, Team Friesen, and we are joined by our very special partner. Our good friend Shirley Liu is here from Oceania Cruises. I've got a soft spot in my heart because we just sailed aboard the Nautica, sailing from Jerusalem to Venice. And we just really wanted Shirley Liu to join us here today, talk about her amazing product, where it goes, what makes Oceania so special. So Shirley Liu, I'm going to toss to you and walk us through your amazing brand.
Thank you, Sean, and welcome home, Sean. I loved hearing about your adventures on board our little ship Nautica. Welcome, everybody, and thank you so much for patching in to learn more about the wonderful world of Oceania Cruises. And in the spirit of World Explorer Month coming up for our Expedia Cruises partner, I thought I would highlight some of the exciting and new itineraries at Oceania Cruises. And if you are looking to travel differently, why you would want to look at Oceania Cruises as the world reopens and everyone's traveling again and dusting off their passports. So welcome again. My name is Shirley Liu. I'm the Director of Sales for Oceania Cruises for Eastern Canada, and I'm so happy that we have so many past guests and new guests joining us. I thought I'd share with you some interesting developments over the past 2.5 years where we did not expect it. Over 40% of the new reservations that's come in to Oceania Cruises were fueled by new to brand Oceania guests, meaning they have never sailed on Oceania Cruises before. And at some level, it is surprising me. At the same time, it's not, because many guests we're finding are seeking smaller ship solutions. They have outgrown the big ship experience, or they no longer want to share the vacation with 5,000 other people. So if you're in that stage in your life where, you know, we've enjoyed many years of cruising, but all of a sudden our tastes are changing, and of course we're looking for something different, Oceania Cruises is the perfect transition, the bridge to try something different. So we've attracted quite a few guests from the premium lines. Again, they've enjoyed many years of cruising. They're attracted to our smaller ships. They are attracted to the fact that we're more inclusive, so no more nickel and diming. You already know how much a vacation is going to cost you. And certainly you're going to find out about our culinary reputation. We're known as a foodie cruise line. So naturally, they're attracted to the food as well. Now, we're also attracting a very different cross-section of clients from the luxury lines as well, because they love our itineraries, and we're going to be able to show you some very interesting configurations. They also love, or they're accustomed to the high level of service on board our smaller ships, and certainly the exquisite cuisine. So this again positions Oceania Cruises as a very unique space whereby you are enjoying an upper premium experience, but also enjoying the luxurious and the unique proposition of what a smaller ship can bring you, and certainly the great food that you can expect as well on board Oceania Cruises. But no matter what, always at an incredible value. And we're going to walk you through that as well. So at the end of this presentation, I hope that you will be inspired and really take a closer look at Oceania Cruises itinerary. But first, I thought I'd share with you what is it that makes Oceania Cruises different, because as a traveler, sometimes there are so many choices, and sometimes you have to wonder, you know, which one is the right one for me, because they all look so amazing. But from day one at Oceania Cruises, we have focused on 3 main key areas, and you could say that is the pillars of our brand, whereby we have small and luxurious ships carrying no more than 1,200 people that sail all over the world. Secondly, we also recognize that many of our guests are well-traveled, therefore they're constantly looking for new destinations to explore, or maybe even go back to a favorite destination, but they want to spend a longer time in port. And you're going to see some of those things on our itineraries that you're going to do, we do differently. And of course, no surprise, we truly spend a lot of time obsessing about the food and the culinary experience for our guests, because we truly believe that one of the key ways to really discover a new culture, a new destination, is through food. And food always brings people together. So all the great reasons why our guests are attracted to Oceania Cruises. Now we're going to start with, of course, the fleet. We have 6, but soon 7 small little ships in our fleet. If you see the Regatta class, Regatta Nautica Insignia and Sirena, only 656 guests, and these small ships are selected for doing very specific itineraries because of their nimble and small size. Then we have our other two ships, Oceania class, and if you see Marina and Riviera, these two beautiful ships carry no more than 1,210 guests. And because they're a little larger, they do have a few more restaurants and extra amenities on board that you may not find on the R-class ships. But again, these two ships are going to sail to all the beautiful places around the world. And then in the spring, we have a new ship coming, Vista, Allura class. Vista represents the new or next generation of the Oceania ships carrying no more than 1,200 guests, and unique to Allura or the Allura class or the Vista class. This class of ships does not have any ocean view or inside views. All the staterooms begin at the veranda category. And of course, with Vista, we also have some new restaurant concepts as well. Now, this next slide shows you the scale of our smaller ships. Of course, many of us have been to ports where there are multiple ships that's docked on this, at the same day. And I love showing this slide because it does really give you a good idea of the advantage of our size. Now, size, of course, means that the small size means we are able to take you into the smaller fishing villages or ports that are inaccessible by those larger ships. And what does that mean? That means when there are no other ships around, it does offer you that exclusivity, that authentic feel of being able to enjoy that destination without the crowds. Again, you're going to find that quite a bit with all our ships, and they are specifically chosen to do a specific itinerary because of their size. Take Montreal, for example, very close to home. Even the Marina and the Marina or Riviera, with 1,210 guests, are able to come to Montreal because not many ships can fit under that bridge to get to Montreal. So I have other surprises at the end of this presentation to show you as well that you can look forward to on board our ship. Now, of course, the hardware, having a beautiful hardware and the size is great, but it's not about just the size, but it's about the concept of the ambience on board Oceania Cruises as well. When you set foot on board an Oceania Cruises ship, it feels like you're stepping into a beautiful home or a beautiful boutique hotel. Very residential. Every public space is conceived to feel homey and welcoming. So it's no surprise that our ships are really well adapted for long voyages. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about in a little bit, some of the exciting itineraries, because we're finding that many of the travelers are now making up for lost time. They don't want to stay home anymore. And these ships and our incredible itineraries allow you to go further and explore even more and cross off all those beautiful things and bucket list destinations that we've all been making. But I think you're going to love what I'm going to show you at the end of this presentation. So being away from home is one thing, and oftentimes we sort of miss, you know, when we're away from for too long, but it doesn't feel like you're away for too long when your cruise ship feels like home. This is your sanctuary, your second home when you're traveling far, far away from home, from base camp, but know that you're going to be in the care of our attentive and intuitive staff on board. Now, I just wanted to pull back the curtains a little bit just to show you what your private quarters is going to look like. This is a typical veranda stateroom, and certainly when you select the concierge veranda, it comes with a few extra perks as well, like priority embarkation, like free laundry and 24-hour room service with a full grand dining menu and more. But as you can see, the space ratio is incredibly large and spacious compared to even the larger ships, because we believe that our guests need to be comfortable when you are sailing and traveling around the world with us. Now, it's hard to say, or it's not uncommon when somebody says that ships get better over time. But at Oceania Cruises, we continually, we really look after the fleet, and you know, they do get better over time because they are Oceania ships. And for the Marina and Riviera, the old class is going to go into a dry dock to be completely re-inspired from stem to stern. And you can see the brand new colors and the decor, starting with the Riviera, this December from Rome to Miami, and Marina will have her new colors as of November 2023. So again, anyone sailing with us in the 22, 23, including the R-class ships we were recently re-inspired as well, we'll be sailing on this beautiful, better than new ships across the fleet on Oceania Cruises. And again, this is a view into the Oceania Suite. Very spacious. It looks as if this is your luxury residence at sea when you sail on Oceania Cruises. And this is a view of the Vista ship as well. Again, there are many different room categories for you to consider when you're sailing with us. Now, unique to the Vista, we have 6 solo staterooms designed for the solo traveler. And recently on the regatta class as well, we've introduced 14 solo class staterooms as well on each of the ship. So anytime if you are traveling as a solo guest, please ask us for those single rooms as well. And of course, oftentimes I get asked, Shirley, you do have smaller ships, but what do you do on board? So you'll be happy to know that all the wonderful things that you enjoy on your cruise, you will be able to find on Oceania Cruises. The only difference is we've brought it down to a more intimate level. So for example, for the casinos, you won't get to see those huge Las Vegas style casinos, but instead you have the more intimate Monte Carlo style, James Bond style kind of casinos on board our ships. But everything else, the entertainment, theater, poolside, hot tubs, fitness centers, and believe it or not, if you are a pickleball fan, and if you started to pick up that sport, we have a pickleball court on board the sports deck on the Riviera. I had a few friends who were on the Riviera in July, and they were beyond the moon when they found out that we had a pickleball court on board that ship. Now, of course, when you come on board Oceania Cruises, you can take advantage of and enjoy the enrichment speaker programs as well that we offer our guests, fully complimentary. What you have is for every destination, we have a speaker who is a subject matter expert, whether they are biologists, authors, scientists that will speak of that destination or that region. And of course, depending again on where you're going, you will always have an enrichment speaker on those days where you're able to learn about the destination, the history, the background, offering you a completely new dimension when you step foot on those beautiful places that you have chosen to see. And you're also going to love the Artist Loft. Now, this is available on board the O-class ships, the Marina and Riviera and Vista, where you can try your hand at watercolor painting, for example, or to discover the artistic side. But be sure, though, for these classes, when you get on board, to sign up for these classes early on, because it is a progressive program whereby at the end of that cruise, you might just have a masterpiece that could be worth money someday. Just make sure you put your signature on it, maybe painting those white, blue scenery in Santorini and so forth. So again, wonderful activity where we always have an artist in residence as well to show you some of the tricks and tips on making that artwork beautiful. We also have our hands-on culinary center, which you can find on Marina, Riviera, and Vista as well. These are wonderful classes if you love playing with food or you love entertaining at home, where you can recreate some beautiful dishes from our restaurants and across the regions as well. This is a great hands-on class where you actually roll up your sleeves, put on an apron, put on a chef's hat, and recreate those beautiful dishes from around the world. So no surprise, of course, many of the programs might even take you ashore to the local markets. Now, all this to say that, of course, when you come on board Oceania Cruises, hardware may be beautiful, furnishings may be really luxurious, but the heart and soul of Oceania Cruises truly is the wonderful onboard team on board, where they will look after our guests, and certainly such a caring culture on board you'll find on Oceania Cruises. Many of our staff members have been with us for a long, long time, and they are, when guests come back to our ships, many of our guest members feel like they are family, and that's how it feels like when you sail on Oceania Cruises. And we hope you have a chance to come on board and see that for yourself. Now, moving on quickly, I love talking about food because I am such foodie. I'm constantly on the quest for new adventures. And even if you're not, one of the things that our guests love about Oceania Cruises is truly the preparation and the dedication to the culinary experience. And all of this started with our wonderful executive culinary director, Jacques Pepin, who was instrumental and still is. In fact, he's sailing on our insignia right now, and he is on his way to Montreal. That designs all these beautiful menus, incorporating all these beautiful fresh ingredients from around the world with one of the best teams that's been scouted and headhunted around the world. One of the things that we also stress on is, of course, the ratio of the crew members on board. Just to give you an idea, on the Marina Riviera, we have 1,200 guests that we look after, but we have 800 crew members looking after 1,200 guests. So if I was a crew member on board Oceania Cruises, I just have to look after 1.5 of you. That's a high service ratio. Now, of course, 400 team members looking after the culinary experience certainly will make a difference when you look at our dining and meal service on board all our beautiful restaurants on board. Now, I mentioned that with our obsession and passion for food, no surprise, we pay close attention to the quality of the food as well, whereby we only source for the freshest and best ingredients around the world. So we provision as we sail along. And if you are in French Polynesia, for example, you'll have dessert made with a Tahitian vanilla. And if you are in doing the Canada-New England itinerary, the lobsters are sourced from a father-son fishery in Nova Scotia. So I think you get the idea. A lot of the ingredients and the featured ingredients or dishes are sourced from the local region. Now, we also innovate continually, and a lot of the menu choices reflect the choices of today's traveler. Many of you, I am myself included, are making conscious choices maybe to shift to more healthy eating. And if you are shifting more to more plant-based cuisine, we have an extensive menu for all meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you are able to enjoy what you typically enjoy at home, observe your lifestyle, and of course, don't feel like you're missing out. So again, if you have very specific dietary or health requirements, this is the cruise line to really talk to your Expedia consultant. They'll let us know, and we will ensure at all times that you have what you need when you sail with us. Now, you're going to be very happy to know that on Oceania Cruises, we also offer multiple restaurant options where you are able to dine with whom and when you want, all at no additional charge. Those are included because we truly believe that good food should be enjoyed by everyone, so there is no need to pay for extra to dine at those restaurants. We also have no formal nights, so Country Club Casual is as formal as you get. We want our guests to be relaxed and casual when you are on vacation. So of course, all these wonderful restaurant choices at the grand dining. There's no reservations required. Just walk in and we'll sit you depending on the size of your party. And all those beverages that you're going to enjoy on your vacation, specialty teas and coffees, you can enjoy them all complimentary with the freshly baked pastries every day at our baristas across the fleet. So that's one of those things that I really enjoy, walking up and just as requesting for an espresso or cappuccino. If you are a creature of habit, this is a great place to hang out when you are looking for that 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. espresso. We also observe traditional afternoon tea Horizons at 4 o'clock every afternoon. This is a great way, of course, to decompress or maybe just relax after a full day of exploring. And I hope you make it to the Horizons Lounge for this beautiful afternoon tea. For me, oftentimes I'm out exploring and still on an excursion, so I rarely make it back for the 4 p.m. Horizons, but I did. And if you do, I hope you do get to catch the beautiful 4-string quartet as well that welcome our guests on board. Again, a beautiful experience in our Horizons Lounge. Now, of course, on the Vista, you're going to have some new restaurant concepts as well. So I hope you'll be able to come on board, enjoy these new restaurants. And Vista is going to enjoy her first inaugural season as of spring of 2023. But she's going to spend her first winter in 24-25 in the Caribbean. Now, I talked about the Culinary Center, so be sure to book that when you get on board, because there are very specific classes and whereby you actually eat what you cook. So be sure to come hungry when you sign up for these classes. Now, moving on, of course, those are all those wonderful things you can enjoy while you're on board. But what are you going to do when you are ashore? We offer itineraries ranging from 7 to 180 days around the world. Now, you're going to notice that we also have very port intensive itineraries, but we also incorporate many overnights and late sailaways if we do not overnight. And we combine a balance of marquee ports, those key ports that you don't want to miss, and also smaller boutique ports of call off the beaten track, like Cinque Terre, or the small fishing villages in Japan, where most of these ports are even difficult to access, to be accessed by on land. So this is an incredible way to be able to explore these beautiful islands, especially destinations where they are, and full of islands. For example, in Japan, it's made out of 7,000 islands. So the best way to discover, to explore this region is by small ship. And you'll also notice that with our overnights and the late sailaways, we also spend more time on land, considering that we take our guests to this destination by sea. So if you look at this comparison and similar itinerary with a premium line on a 14-day Europe itinerary, we spend 140 hours in port versus only 80 hours when you look at the arrival time and the sail away time. So again, take a look at our itineraries, because we do allow you more time to really explore and go deeper at that destination. Because if you're a cruiser, I think we all appreciate that one of the things about going or visiting a port is that you don't have enough time to explore. But that's a little different on Oceania Cruises. I wanted to show you this itinerary, just a quick glance, just to show you some of the multiple overnights that you see on our itineraries. In this itinerary, 20 days from Istanbul to Dubai aboard the Riviera in November 2023. This cruise starts in Istanbul with an overnight on the onset of the cruise. And it will also overnight in Jerusalem or Haifa. You overnight in Luxor, and you also overnight at the end of the cruise in Dubai. And what that does is, of course, it eliminates the need to have pre and post hotels if you don't want to, and just use the ship as your base point to go exploring. And certainly we do encourage you to do the pre and post just to make the most out of the destination. For example, in Turkey, I had spent a week in Turkey this summer. Why not take that opportunity to fly to Kayseri, which is in Cappadocia, where you're able to do that hot air balloon and watch the sunrise. It's an incredible country, warm people, and incredible food. Of course, I can go on, but we don't have time for that. But I do encourage you to take a look at all itineraries for all these beautiful configurations and opportunities. Now, of course, once you get at land, what are you going to do? And what are some of those excursions that you can enjoy? You're going to find a nice mix of very different excursions designed for very different interests and passions. So depending on what you're passionate about, depending on the pace in which you like to travel, you're going to find excursions like Go Local tours, where you're able to immerse with the locals and hang out with the locals and see what are some of the things that they do, and certainly an opportunity to give back to those communities as well through our Go Local tours. These are great tours also for those who've been to a destination. Say, for example, you've gone to Barcelona 100 times, or if you've been to Athens 100 times, there's a lot of these different itineraries that allow you to see that destination with a different pair of eyes. So, for example, in Malta, we have an excursion where it takes our guests to visit a local village where they make sourdough bread very differently. And to be able to taste that different sourdough bread is pretty incredible with our Go Local tours. And of course, no surprise, I mentioned earlier that we have a lot of culinary themed excursions as well that take you to the local markets and maybe enjoy a lunch under the olive trees in one of the chef's friends in Italy. And tasting as well, we're able to take you to some of those beautiful vineyards. Most of them are, fourth generation wine growers and so forth, and to be able to take some wines back with you. On the subject of wines, at Oceania Cruises, we allow our guests to bring on board 6 bottles of wine per voyage to enjoy, because we take you to some beautiful wine country. It's a little unfair to not be able to enjoy that. So yes, you can bring that on board and enjoy that in the privacy of your stateroom. And if you want to enjoy that with the new friends you made that day, certainly there's a corkage free to open it up at the restaurant. Now, we also have excursions, Go Green excursions, to see some of the initiatives that are happening around the world to make our Earth a better place. For example, in Athens, we have a turtle sanctuary where you can see some of the good work some of our friends are doing out there, and tree planting initiatives around the world as well. So again, all these tours are clearly indicated when you look at each of those itineraries. And for those who are interested in architecture and engineering wonders, we also have the Beyond Blueprint programs, where, for example, in Toulouse, we take our guests to the Airbus facility where these huge machines are built, and incredible, interesting concepts and interesting excursions that are completely off the beaten track to really enrich your travel experiences with us, because you are there to be able to really go in there and learn something new and ask questions and be immersed in that is truly incredible. Of course, we also have the wellness component as well with our plant-based program with our AQUAMAR partners. You could also say that Oceania is a wellness company as well. And with the late sailaways, guys, you want to take advantage of some of those evening excursions in Istanbul. We have Istanbul by Night, where the Hagia Sophia lights up in the middle of the at night, with the landscapes of the bridges along the Bosphorus Straits. Beautiful itinerary or program when you see the city by night. Very different, of course. And if you are in Spain, in Andalusia, and you have an overnight in Sevilla, why not catch a flamenco performance as well and feel that energy and that music when you are there? So again, it's nothing like being there to be able to see this for yourself, right? And I talked about not only having programs for you when you are on the tour, but also take advantage of the pre and post and mid-cruise land programs that allow you to really go spend more time on land, because we do encourage our guests to really go beyond just the port to explore these beautiful places. And of course, we've got lots of shore excursion options as well to optimize your time while you're sailing with us. Of course, take a look at all the itineraries. Each of those excursions are listed in each of those voyages, and certainly reach out to Sean's team if you need any guidance on those options. Now, very importantly, I'm going to move on to the next component where Oceania is resonating with many Canadians. We get a lot of lift from Ontario, from Quebec, and all of Canada, is truly the value. When you look at an Oceania cruise vacation, please remember that you already have all the important components that you're going to need on your vacation. Many clients or many travelers get excited about, of course, finding an amazing offer or opportunity before the cruise. But the question is, when you look at how much, all those little things add up, it's really how much did you spend at the end of that cruise, right? So when you look at Oceania Cruises, please remember, again, all these important things you're going to use are already included. The specialty restaurants I talked about, just make reservations. Internet is included. You never ever have to pay for those extra minutes or hours. Very important, anything that's non-alcoholic, the specialty coffees I talked about, soft drinks, smoothies, milkshakes, virgin cocktails, your filtered water are all included, including self-serve laundry as well. Now, that's really very popular with our guests, especially on the longer voyages, which is why we also advise our guests to travel light. And taxes are included with that, all those the core inclusions that I talked about. So all the components in that white box is cruise component. Now, we also know that you're going to need to fly to get to the ship, to embark on the ship. So to that point, we also include airfare from Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. And you're flying from secondary gateways like Thunder Bay. All you have to do is add $250 return, and it will connect to the principal gateways where routing is possible. In addition to that, when you look at an Oceania pricing, you also get to pick one of 3 options that's included, no matter the season, no matter the category or itinerary, because everyone looks for different things when they travel. You have a choice of excursions, those wonderful excursions that we talked about. Some of them might have a small surcharge, but for the most part, you've got many, many excursions that are included. And how many excursions really depend on the length of the cruise. Or if you like your wines, you can select the beverage package, which essentially is beer, wine, or champagne by the glass for lunch and dinner. But if you choose this package and you're saying, Shirley, what about my cocktails? You can always top up with only 20 US per person per day, and it makes it open bar. Now, of course, if only one of you drinks and the other does not drink, only one of you will need to pay the top up. It's an incredible value, certainly because you know that you're going to be using that and you don't want a running tab. And of course, if you're highly independent and if you don't drink, the shipboard credit is always a wonderful option to give you that flexibility to do a little bit of both, right? So again, just remember, when you look at Oceania Cruises, we include all of these things. Now, we also know that many of you have Aeroplan points and may not necessarily need our air, at which point you can always unbundle the air. But it's very important to know to have the air included, because you can use that as to hedge and lock in the air prices, because we all know that airfare is getting fairly costly nowadays. So to be able to know how much this airfare is going to cost you, or your trip's going to cost you for the 23 or 24 travel, is an incredible advantage. Of course, you can always unbundle it closer to the date. Now, this is a quick comparison chart to bring in the message that we include a lot of these where you might end up paying extra on the other options that you may be considering. Now, of course, to enhance this value proposition even more, with our partners at Expedia Cruises, they have many, many dates where gratuities are included. Now, this is not a customary inclusion at Oceania Cruises. So if we had a guest perhaps researching smaller ship solutions and they happen to book online or directly with us, they're not getting the gratuities. But through our agent partners, gratuities are included on many, many select voyages. So certainly talk to Sean and his team to see which voyages are have this wonderful amenity, because as a cruiser, this is a very coveted amenity when it represents savings in your pocket, so you can spend that on other stuff, right? So again, this is ongoing. Please reach out to the Expedia team for these wonderful dates. Now, of course, no one wants to travel with uncertainty, but you'll be happy to know that at Oceania Cruises, your deposit is fully refundable, typically between 4 to 6 months before departure. So with the reprice of travel, and of course with our smaller ships and fewer inventory, if you have something in mind already, I do encourage you to book it, lock something in, have something to look forward to, of course, and if anything changes, you can always cancel with your fully refundable deposit. And we also have a best price guarantee. And all this, of course, is backed by one of the highest standards in health and safety protocols. And I encourage you to, of course, look at our Still Safe page if you want more information on that. Now, moving forward, I hope I've offered you some incredible ideas or what it feels like to be sailing with Oceania Cruises, but I'm very excited and I want to share this with you just quickly, what we've been cooking up. And just last week, we launched our Around the World in 180 days for 2025. Now, this is a second launch in the same year because our 2024 Around the World was sold out in 30 minutes. So this tells us that many clients or many travelers are now looking to travel longer, travel further. They don't want to stay home anymore and really making up for lost time. Now, if you have always thought about this, doing an epic journey around the world, you can do this in 180 days. We are offering this beautiful journey that offers you the flexibility to join us from Miami or from San Diego or New York. So this itinerary, depending on how long, the 180 days starts in Miami and ends in to San Diego. And for the 196, this will take you a full loop from Miami to Miami. And the 200 days is Miami to New York, where you will be visiting 5 continents, 32 countries, 89 very unique ports, 46 UNESCO World Heritage Sites with over 21 overnights and 6 multi-day overland adventures that you can go deeper in those overnights we're doing, and 5 exclusive shoreside events only World Cruise guests can enjoy. And of course, these are the kinds of trips that memoirs are made of. So if you've always been wanting to do this, certainly talk to our team about it. There's still availability. And included with the World Cruise, there are a lot more inclusions excursions are a little different from the others, whereby the gratuities are completely taken care of. We take care of all the visas for Canadian and US citizens, including luggage delivery and first class or business class travel to those gateways as well. So again, talk to Sean's team. They have all those details about this epic journey for 2025. Now, we recognize that not everybody's going to do the full 180 days, but and that's the reason why we introduced grand voyages. Now, grand voyages are a little shorter, maybe a month, 2 months, 2.5 months, but typically around the winter time, where many of us want to escape the winter. So the timing is perfect because our ships follow the sun. So in this case, I'm very excited about this one. This is the first grand voyage that incorporates 2 continents, from Sydney to Santiago de Chile for 74 days. Now, this is a 2-parter. The first segment, you will be sailing for 50 days, Sydney to Sydney on our small ship, the Regatta, after which we will fly you to the South America continent, where you will start that itinerary from Ushuaia to Santiago de Chile. Now, included as part of the grand voyage, the 74 far and wide, the ultimate odyssey from Sydney to Santiago de Chile, is a 6-day mid-cruise overland program, or land excursions, where you can choose from picking the excursion to in Sydney, where you can explore the extraordinary Blue Mountains, or from Santiago de Chile, where you're able to cross the Grand Andean Lakes and the Patagonian fjords as well. So this is part of this grand voyage opportunity to sail with us to see these 2 continents. There's still space on this itinerary, so I hope you'll reach out to Sean's team to talk to him about that. Then we have the Ultimate Pacific Traveler. This allows our guests to sail from Los Angeles to Sydney for 79 days on board our 656 guest ship, the Regatta. Again, very unique itineraries where you'll be spending about 2 weeks in Japan and almost 3 weeks in Australia, New Zealand, to explore this region fully. Now, for those of you who've traveled extensively and you're looking at very specific region to travel to, this is a great way to sort of focus on the specific region if this is the area that you want to go further and visit. Then we also have a more in-depth South America kaleidoscope from Miami to Rio for 50 days on December 7, 2024 on the beautiful Marina, where this actually does a sailing to the Antarctica. You will be sailing the Drake Passage. You will not do a landing there, but you will be accompanied by expedition team leaders, biologists, glaciologists, scientists to really make the most out of your experience as you sail to the region where Ernest Shackleton and Edmondson was when they first sailed to that continent. So very cool. You'll also do a crossing on the Panama Canal before you head back to Miami. Next up, you've got the Grand Eastern Reflections, Abu Dhabi to Singapore, very exotic, 78 days sailing in December of 24 on board the O-Class Riviera, where you conclude in Abu Dhabi. Again, a beautiful itinerary if you want to focus a little bit more on the Asia region, India, and of course conclude in the Desert Kingdom of Abu Dhabi. And the next one that you see here, Epic Continental Explorer, Papeete to Barcelona for 111 days. This is pretty cool if you want to do the French Polynesia or the South Pacific region as well. A little longer on a smaller ship, Nautica, February 25th of 2025. Lots of time to plan this, of course, but book it because it's on a smaller ship if this is something that you want to do. And number 6, Patagonia to Iberia. This one takes you to the South America and leads it all the way to the western part of Africa and to Europe for 63 days on the Marina. Santiago de Chile to Barcelona, March 6th of 2025 on board the Marina. And last but not least, on the new Grand Voyage, you also have this beautiful configuration, Asia and Oceania Odyssey from Tokyo to Honolulu for 72 days, May 22nd, 2025 on board the small ship Regatta. Now, Grand Voyages also have very direct inclusions where we include a lot more, and we want you to travel in comfort. So all Grand Voyages have business class airfare built into it. Your gratuities are included. Luggage delivery is included as well, along with many more options for the shore excursions and a choice of beverage package or the shipboard credit like we talked about. So I hope you'll have a much closer look at this itinerary. Now, I know we've all talked about the 24-25, Sean, but if you're thinking of escaping this winter, because we know that white stuff is going to fall and temperature's going to dip before you know it, we have some beautiful Caribbean for 23 this winter as well. Like this one, I love this one, Aruba to Aruba, very different from the Caribbean that you typically see on the other lines. This is a beautiful 10 days on our small ship Sirena, and you could potentially extend your stay in Aruba as well, which is a beautiful island to explore. To spend the winter there. Now, of course, in the spirit of World Explorer, a month in October, we are offering $200 shipboard credit per stateroom on many voyages, and the 10-night Aruba to Aruba that I was talking about is part of that offer. Again, this starts on the 8th of October to the end of October, but because we don't want you to wait until the 8th of October to book this, if you find anything that you love on Oceania Cruises and you want to book now, just because the spaces are getting limited on many of the popular itineraries, please enjoy a wine trio. Essentially, it's 3 bottles of complimentary wine on all new bookings if you book between now and at the end of October, and it is combinable with the Expedia World Explorer offer of $200. Now, just remember that that $200 offer is on select voyages only, but you've got many to choose from, over 40 voyages in 23 and 24 that you can select from. But we wanted everybody to have something no matter what, so I hope you do take advantage of this. Now I'm going to pass this over to Sean, because Sean has selected the next beautiful itinerary that I love, and Sean's going to tell us why he picked this beautiful itinerary to South America.
Yeah, thank you, Shirley. So we're planning to host this amazing sailing March 15th of 2024. It's not too early to look at 2024 because Oceania only does this sailing once a year and sometimes once every 24 months. Starts in Rio, goes up the coast of Brazil, and then goes down the Amazon River. How cool is that? We've got 6 days. So it's going to be tremendous. 21 days starting March 15th, finishing up in Miami on the 5th of April. Love for you to join us. Love to talk about the fantastic cruise. Talk to my team, and we can certainly go from there. So.
Thank you, Sean. I can't wait for you to come on board the Amazon. We were talking earlier, and I told Sean that I would, Amazon is on my list. And one of the things I want to do when you sail on the Amazon and the tributary rivers is I want to visit the giant water lilies.
Yes.
Right?
The pink dolphins, catch a piranha, so many neat things. So
absolutely, and you can do this even on our marina. So I hope you will come on board soon. Talk to Sean's team. Thank you, Sean, so much for allowing us to talk to your clients about this. And certainly, we look forward to welcome you on board soon. And call Sean's team. They are the experts on Oceania Cruises, and of course, I'm always here when they need anything on board our ships.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you so much, Shirley. Thank you for tuning in. Talk to us. We want to be your travel agent. We want to help you create memories, fulfill dreams. Thanks, everybody.